Good morning and welcome to Titan Summit. We're here with the Model United Nations team from UW-Oshkosh, here live in New York City for our conference. Today we have Caitlin, Tay, and Allie here to join us from, can you guys say what committees you guys are in?
CCPCJ.
Same, CCPCJ.
General Assembly Third Committee.
Today we are going to ask them how their experience were in Model UN in New York. Caitlin, how was your experience in Model UN this year?
So my experience personally as a first year was absolutely amazing. I was welcomed in so immediately. I felt a little bit nervous as an education major because this has nothing really to do with my major. So I was a little bit worried about how it would apply to me. And then I just found like a very welcoming and amazing committee. Just the entire group of people 100% accepted me, and the returners, anytime I needed any help, they not only knew that I could receive help from them, but 100% always gave it. And it was an amazing time, I do have to say that.
Thank you, Caitlin. Tay?
UN was meeting a lot of people from different to talk about global issues. As a chem major, it's hard to talk with people about something besides chemistry. So it was really
Skills, your professional skills, you make a lot of friends, you meet people from 7% of the students from the US, so it was really amazing to meet everyone and experience so many different people and cultures. And then you get to be part of the best organization on campus. So
That sounds great. Each of you guys, could you guys personally talk about your experiences in each committee during the time here?
okay, so in St. Louis, I was in committee. So there were only about 100 people in there total. So it was very interesting because everybody in the room got to eventually kind of know each other. And so it was a little bit nerve-wracking because I felt if I made any mistakes. It ended up being really cool, and people were constantly asking me questions. And same with in GA3, I felt very comfortable in my room by the end of the week. It was very nerve-wracking at the beginning, but it was very fun both times. I liked both committees a lot.
And you, Tay?
Yeah, I was in the same committee as her, GA3 and the CCPCJ. In GA3, I made great speeches, and then I was in a great caucus. We did a really great job. And then in CCPCJ in New York, it was fantastic. Everybody came up to us and then asked questions, and then we're in the same caucus. We did a great job. We did wrote fantastic clauses. And then everyone came up to us and asked questions, so that's good. Yeah, that's great.
And you, Allie?
I was in GA3 for both St. Louis and New York, and I loved it both times. It's the social committee, so you get to talk about real current issues affecting everyone in the world. There was a lot of collaboration to try to reach solutions for these issues, and it really brings you new insight and provides really good experience for everyone, and I enjoyed it a lot.
Okay, thank you guys for joining us for today. Up next is our members Emma, Meg, Cece, and Sarah. Okay.
Thank you.
So what's happening now on the laptop?
I can't reach them at all.
Uh-oh.
Okay. Okay, we are back with our next members. I'll say your names.
I'm Cece.
I'm Emma.
I'm Meg.
I'm Sarah.
And what committees were you guys in this week?
GA1.
General Assembly First Committee.
And General Assembly Third Committee.
General Assembly Third Committee.
I just realized that I did not say what countries we all represented, so can you guys all tell the audience?
We all represent like ones that you heard, such as Allie, were part of Seychelles.
Thank you, Emma. Okay, your questions are, what cities and places did you visit in New York? Cece, can you please explain?
Well, we walked around everywhere. We had basically like a photo op, and we went to parks and we took a whole bunch of pictures. A lot of people went to the Met, and we went to the M&M store. It's been a good time.
Emma and Meg, you guys are both the returners, so how was your experience different this time than last year?
Well, for example, last year we had a lot of help from people who had done this multiple times, such as, fourth years, fifth years, and beyond. But this year, the only people with experience was like 1 fourth year and then us, and we only had 1 year under our belt. So we had a lot of outside help from former alumni from years prior, and they sort of stayed close to the committees and made sure we were all staying on track and helped us out, which was different than before. We've never had that much alumni involvement, so that's mainly the main thing that sticks out.
Mm-hmm. And you, Meg?
Yeah, and for me, the biggest difference is last year we were still under code protocol where we had to wear face masks, and the conference was about the sizes last year due to travel restrictions because of international schools. So it's interesting going from like a big room of only 150 to being in a room of 300 people, which was kind of the biggest difference in these years.
And then, what did you know about MUN before joining?
I did not much about I recommended that I look into it because I expressed interest in international policy, and as a psychology major there isn't much opportunity or direct correlation that is obvious with that, so I thought it seems like a perfect opportunity for me to actually put action into that interest of mine.
That sounds good. Can you guys all briefly talk about your experiences in each committee?
Yeah, let's start with.
Well, I had a great experience in my committee. Everyone was so nice. This is my first year doing this. I kind of got roped in this semester a couple weeks ago, about a month ago. So, and the committee that I was in was sweet. I won, along with you. We won Delegates' Choice. So everyone, I think, enjoyed having us around.
Yeah, my experience was awesome as well. Like Cece said, we won Delegates' Choice, which essentially means that we were voted by the whole room to present our one resolution to everybody. So we were able to give an extra speech, and people overall appreciated us for our inclusive leadership and making sure that we were nice and inclusive to everybody. As a total, we were shouted out 20 times. A lot of people worked well with us. There was barely any conflicts in our groups, and it was definitely a great experience.
Sounds good. Meg?
So in the GA3, since it is a social room, our topic was safeguarding the human rights of persons displaced by climate change. So that was a really interesting topic, talking about the people, refugees, and then climate change all together, like 3 different topics in one. And as with Sarah being a psychology major, not knowing much about the social, like humanitarian sides of it, learning so much, and really specifically talking about like the mental and physical well-being of people in vulnerable populations and situations was really interesting for this whole week.
And you, Sarah?
Yeah, it was very interesting to learn a lot about it, and the preparation for the topic as well was very important, and it took a lot of definitely time and effort on everyone's part to ensure that we did do well, which we did.
Well, sounds like you guys had an excellent time at the conference then. Thank you for joining me, and then up next we have another group of excellent delegates. Okay, we can change now. Okay, ready? Okay, ready? We're going live right now. Okay, we're back with 3 more delegates who, can you guys explain your name?
I'm Elizabeth. I was in IAEA.
I'm Savannah, I was in UNEA.
I'm Chase. I was in UNEA and I played Seychelles.
And you guys both, are Angola. Okay, Elizabeth, how's it, as the first year? How was your experience in MUN?
It was pretty great. It was one of the club activities I was looking forward to coming to Oshkosh, and I was super excited about it.
Awesome. Savannah, since you're a returner, most people don't know how MUN works. Can you explain briefly how it works?
Yes, so especially conferences. So in conference, we do a lot of diplomacy, a lot of negotiation, working with a lot of people who want different things, and you want to try to work with as many people as possible in order to make sure everyone's voices are heard and be inclusive. We do a lot of speaking. We'll answer questions during like our general informal session where we're kind of going over like what we want, and we're writing working papers to eventually hopefully be turned into resolutions that the body can later adopt as a committee.
Sounds good. And Chase, what was your favorite part of MUN?
Meeting all the different delegates from different countries. I met people from South Korea, Lebanon, Quebec. There were a lot of Quebec Italians, just so many different people speaking so many languages, and just getting to know their backgrounds, and it's just really awesome. Okay, we are a little behind schedule, so can you two
just give like 5 words of how the committee was.
It was really interesting. I got to work with a lot of different people.
There were some challenges, but we overcame those by creating consensus among the group. So
That sounds good. Thank you for joining me on Titan Summit. I hope you guys have a good rest of your day and explore New York a little bit more. Up next, we have more delegates who are extremely successful and doing good. Okay, great. What do you need? Rocky, can you count down? Okay, live. Up next, we have more delegates who did a really good job at the conference. Can all you guys say your names and what committees you guys are in?
Hi, I'm Mason. I am from the General Assembly Second Committee, or the Econ and Financial Committee.
I'm Wyatt. I'm from IAEA, or the International Agency for Nuclear Energy.
I'm Jonah. I'm from General Assembly Committee, Second Committee.
I'm James. I'm also from the General Assembly Second Committee.
Thank you for joining me. Mason, some might say you are a titan of the Model UN team. So how could you, why should someone join Model UN?
Besides from that remarkable comment that I got just now, I think that MUN is great for building up not only your personal self in terms of employability, but also improving yourself in various aspects. Interpersonal skills, you get to expand yourself a lot in terms of presenting yourself, making yourself more well known. You get to learn to interact with people whose native language isn't exactly English, so you're learning to articulate your words better, slower, making yourself more presentable in a sense. You learn how to be in a professional setting, which many people sometimes at the college level don't always get to experience, which is always nice. It's just a big opportunity to expand yourself personally as well as perhaps your resume if you're looking for that as well.
That sounds good. Thank you, Mason. Wyatt, personally, over the past week, I've seen you have a lot of fun. So how was your experience in New York?
Well, like you said, it was really fun. In New York specifically, there's a lot of sights to see, and in Model UN, there's a lot of stress, is the word I'm going to use. I think personally that it's good stress, though. It's like mountain climbing almost. Being able to meet so many people, though, I really enjoy that specifically. I went to lunch with delegates outside of my own team like a total of 4 times, and it was an unbelievably fantastic experience. Everyone here is so great to work with, and I loved it.
And Jonah, as I was in GA1 and you are in a different committee, what are some struggles that you face?
I'd have to say the biggest struggles have to be the delegates, honestly. There was just some delegates that when I tried working with them, they were hard to work with. But that's the beauty of Model UN, because no matter how big the situation or how hard the situation is, you know that you have to fight and try to get over that situation for the greater good.
And James, as a first year, why did you join MUN?
Well, I have a general interest in international geopolitics, so that's kind of mainly the reason. I will say that it became a lot more than I expected.
Thank you. So how, all together, can you guys all agree that you guys had a good time here at the conference?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, definitely.
Ups and downs.
Ups and downs.
For sure. Ups and downs, but in the general scheme of things, absolutely. It's always a pleasure to be here, represent the school itself. Always, it's such a blast. On top of being able to come here, which is something I would not be able to do without the school's support, being able to meet other people internationally, other schools, and just express my joy for it, both in terms of the conference and the people, but also just meeting other people in the team like you guys, is one of the greatest joys of being on the team, I personally think.
Mm-hmm. And then, you guys any short comments left?
I was mistaken for a New Yorker. That was fun.
I don't know. I noticed that a lot of people can tell whether or not you're a tourist because our whole team...
You make it really obvious.
Okay, our whole team, to be fair, looks straight up and everyone can tell immediately, okay?
Do you have any comments left, James?
I'd say the experience I had with this team all in all is kind of equivalent to broccoli. You may not enjoy it, but in the long term, you'll be glad you did.
That's some great words.
Parasitical vegetable.
Thank you for joining me on Titan Summit.
Well, you guys aren't the vegetable. I'm just saying Model UN is part of it.
It's like broccoli. No, I can see that.
Okay, thank you for joining me on Titan Summit. Up next, we have two guests who are very fundamental to our program. Okay, thank you.
So we'll be able to see us there?
No.
Or no?
No, we'll be able to see that.
Thank you for joining us again on Titan Summit. We are here with our school's provost and our academic advisor. Can you guys introduce yourselves?
Sure, I'm John Coker, provost at University of Wisconsin-Oshkosh.
And my name is Dr. Tracy Sliker. I am a professor in the Department of Political Science and also the faculty advisor for our Model UN team.
So Tracy first, how is this team building up to become a better team each time we come to a conference?
Well, I think we have a really excellent tradition on this team, and some of our previous delegates have highlighted that, of generational teaching. And that just keeps getting better every year, where you have older students who really teach the younger students and really kind of show them the ropes of the conference. And this year was particularly challenging because we didn't have as many students who were older to really sort of facilitate that. But the beautiful thing about Model UN is we have alumni all over the world, all over the United States, who as soon as we say we need a little help, they swoop in and help. So we've been tremendously fortunate, and it is the students who are going to keep our Model UN team strong no matter what the circumstances.
Thank you. And John, sorry.
John is fine.
Why does DWO keep supporting MUN?
Well, I think it's important for a university to have a lot of activities for students outside of the classroom. So we support certainly a strong athletics program, we support a strong arts program, and we support things like Model UN and other student organizations. So you can only do so much inside the classroom, but this is a wonderful opportunity where we can take an extracurricular activity that directly impacts learning and gives students wonderful experiences. So it's a great program to support.
Thank you. Maybe the audience might not know this, but this is your last year, right?
This is my last year at UW-O, my 32nd and my final year. I'll be retiring this summer.
Thank you for your work at UW-O. Can you tell the audience what your plans are after you leave?
Well, first of all, I'm going to sleep later in the morning, maybe stay up a little later at night. But I hope to be involved with the university. I hope to stay involved with Model UN in the areas of fundraising with alums and trying to support future teams and be an ambassador, if you will, for the university. I'm also very involved with Habitat of Humanity Oshkosh. I'm on the board of directors. I was just elected president of the board of directors, and so I'll be around in the community working with Habitat.
Well, but thank you for all your support throughout the years.
Thank you.
Back to Tracy. Why did you decide to become the academic advisor of MUN?
I didn't actually decide to become the academic advisor. This team, after the loss of our longtime advisor, Dr. Ken Grieve, in 2018, I was asked by team members to serve as the temporary advisor, but I think Model UN kind of gets into your blood, and then it's really hard to not do it. So I'm also really fortunate not only to have had great students, but someone who is not here but who is absolutely crucial to the team is Dr. Ange Sabula, who is the Director of International Studies. She's a co-advisor. So having not only support from a co-advisor, having awesome students, having alumni who will do anything for you, and having upper administration who believe in what we're doing, it makes it really something that's difficult to to not do, because you get positive reinforcement at so many of those levels. So it's been a pretty great experience, and not at all what I expected.
Well, thank you for always giving us advice and being wise about how we should act as excellent delegates as UW-Oshkosh is.
Yes.
Both of you can, in a couple of words, can you explain the experience here in New York?
Well, I'm certainly glad I came. I've been, as an administrator, I've supported Model UN, worked with several faculty advisors for 17 years, but never came to the conference. And so I'm really glad that I was able to come and see our students in action. I'm very proud of them.
Thank you. And JC?
I think this conference is always just fantastic because, as a previous delegate mentioned, it's about 60% international. So you get a little bit of being at an academic conference, doing sort of a mini study abroad, you get a real global experience. We get a chance here also to see some alumni who are working the conference, who are staffing the conference. It's a volunteer, largely volunteer staff base, and Oshkosh is well represented. Plus you get to be in New York City. And New York City is just a city obviously unlike no other, and the fact that the university allows us to come here and do this, and it's not necessarily a cheap thing to do, is pretty amazing. But the level of experience that students can have at this conference, I think, is unparalleled. So I'm just really, really grateful for the opportunity.
Me too. Well, that's it for Titan Summit. I would like to thank first our academic advisors, both of them who are excellent in helping us train, our provost, the members of the Model United Nations team, and all those who support the team throughout the years. This is the end of the Titan Summit here in New York City.
And I'd like to thank Seb.
Yes, thank you, Seb.